everybody, this is Mateo, and yes, I know this episode is late. It's like 8 o'clock right now. Big story, big excuse. When I woke up this morning, it was thundering really badly, to the point where my printer would turn off, and when it turns back on, almost immediately after, it makes like a brrr, 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 brrr kind of sound 3 times, and that's what woke me up early. So, already dealing with that. And, by the way, this is the little murderer. The only thing it'll do is scan itself, so don't worry. So, the printer woke me up, and it's like 7:30, where I normally wake up at 10. Well, because of that, I was like, okay, well, it's currently thundering, like, really badly out, and more than likely, the mic is going to pick it up. And there were some pretty big ones, too, and there was also the fear of my computer turning off. So I figured, okay, I have to find something to do while I wait for this to pass over. So I started recording my next Let's Play, and I just knew that the computer was going to turn off, like, as soon as I started, and wouldn't you know it, like 6 seconds in, it turned off. And I turned it back on and stuff, and went from there, and everything was fine. I'm like halfway through it now, and I just kind of got caught up in it, just working on it. I got into a bit of a recording binge, if that's what you would call it. I don't even know what you would call it, but yeah, that's that, and here we are back at that save point. And that's pretty much my story on Let's Play Final Fantasy IV. And here we have a giant stick, or a holy lance, okay, and it talks. And it brought back the plague. Basically, what it'll do is cast Doom on your entire party. I almost said entirety, like entire party combined. So you basically want to kill this thing really quickly. So have Edge throw stuff, Cecil and Kane can attack, Radio will summon Bahamut, and don't even worry about healing, just have Rosa cast Holy. And he will also cast Haste on your people to make their timer go down faster, so it hit Cecil there, so his timer will go down faster. However, he also has twice the speed, so he can do more attacks and stuff. But because of all the animations and stuff, it'll take a while for the number to actually go down 1. I mean, like, every other turn, it might go down 1, but he's already dead, and it only reached 5. Not much skill, not much experience, but we got the Holy Lance, which is even better. So let's go ahead and equip that on our lance user, Kane, and then he betrays us and takes the weapon away. Nah. So it's engulfed in holy power, that's nice. We lost a little bit of defense there, but oh well. And then we found a dino zombie and ran away. It was scary. And then we found another dino zombie and then we ran away because it was scary. Can we please make it back to the save point? Okay, good. So let's save up. Move along, and into the other door. 2 treasure chests, nice, okay. That must mean ribbons. Well, that doesn't seem all too great. Well, either way, we have 2 Lunasaurs, which have pretty, average physical attacks. But worse is that they'll cast Reflect on themselves. So now all of a sudden you can't use fire, which they're most likely weak to. However, they still can. And that was pretty meh still, but whatever. Luckily, they're weak to a Holy Elemental, so both Cecil and Kane should be able to deal 9,999 to them. And Rydia should just continue casting Mega Flare. Rosa cannot cast Holy to hit another 9,999 because they are reflected, so don't even try that. And then they'll cast Restore, which will basically heal them. And then bounce Bio off to hit somebody else, and that'll do a ton of damage. And that's pretty much it. Pretty sure that they have a Bad Breath type spell. I know they do in the DS version. And the ribbon would actually be really helpful for this boss battle, but oh well. It's still helpful for other situations, including a certain frog. A very expensive frog. And then he's going to Reflect. That is awesome. So now if we wanted to, we could bounce Faraga off of it, but he's almost dead. We should be fine. I mean, the Mega Flare and maybe another hit from a holy weapon, and he should be dead. And you have that save point right there, so you can cottage and save and whatnot. You don't even have to worry about dying, really, because it isn't that bad if you do. And then after the battle, you can just heal again. So, you know, whatever. And Kane gained a level. And we got these two treasure chests, which both contain ribbons. Now, normally in the Final Fantasy games, there are 4 ribbons, one for each party member, and what the ribbon does is it protects you from all status ailments. Well, in this one there's only 2, at least in the main game there's only 2. And since it's a much better upgrade, I'm going to give it to the 2 spellcasters, and as long as Rosa isn't affected by anything like Toad or Pig or whatever, she will be able to cast Asuna to quickly get everybody else back from the status ailments. For the certain Toad enemy that I was talking about, you're going to want to put one of the ribbons on Edge though, but that's when we get to that. So once again, a cottage, we can save, and then we can continue on with this dungeon. We are more than halfway done. I'd say we're like 2/3 of the way done now. So we're getting there. We're getting there. We should be able to finish this before part 40, if not exactly part 40. And then sudden scenery change, and for some reason going back. Is there anything over here? Yes there is. Oh no there isn't, that's where we entered from, never mind. Oh, why do I always make that mistake? Oh well, there's a treasure over there, but it's on the next level. Oh look, there's some stairs, well that was easily fixed. And we also have the Wicked Mask. It will cast Reflect on itself, and then Reflect on all of you, so you basically can't cure yourself unless you bounce the cure off of him, but then it'll only heal one person. So hit him with... You could bounce a spell off of your Reflects that he gave you and do 9,999, like bounce Vandaga off and hit him, but whatever. And then you'll start reflecting spells towards you. High-level spells of that, like Holy and Flare and Bio. And I'm pretty sure he also has Restore to make him all the more annoying. And he has the boss theme going, so this thing is basically a mini-boss of a random encounter, and there goes Flare. Kane is pretty much dead. No he's not. He barely survived. Hooray. But we really can't cure him easily. There goes Bio. Not as much, but it does possibly poison. So there's always the worry of that. So just Mega Flare, Bahamut. At this point, don't really worry about save. Well, that was your last save point back there. So be careful, especially with enemies like these. What I'd do, even if you weren't recording, and I get annoyed when hit by random encounters when recording, but even when not, I'd really suggest running away from all these fights, except for the one time that you want to get the Bestiary entry. See, this thing is really smart, even though it's a robot. It's casting haste on itself by bouncing off of Rosa, and it did a weak cure. In fact, don't even try curing when you're fighting this guy, or use items, but don't use a Mega Elixir, unless you're really, really dying. But there we go, he's dead, we have some healing to do, Kane died, as well as everybody who's pretty hurt. We can also find behemoths down here. I had to check whether it was Behemoth or Bahamut in my brain. So now that Kane is back up, we can use Kiraja. So around now is the time that you want to start using elixirs and stuff if you really have to. I mean, by now you should have like 20 or 30 of them. At least I ended up with like 42 at one point towards the very end of the game. Yes, at one point, I'm pretty sure at the very end I had 42 elixirs until I just started using them to heal everything because I got lazy with it because I could. But over here we have the last talking weapon. So hooray for that. It's another weapon for Edge, seeing as how we got the other ones. And we got the Masamune, or Masamune. It's like Ashura and Asura. And for this one we have to fight Ogopogo. He looks kind of familiar. Almost like a certain Leviathan buddy of ours. But whatever. He starts off by casting Tsunami twice, and then he also has Blizzaga, and basically has the same thing as Leviathan. He's basically powered up Leviathan. So just attack him as usual. usual. You can use either Bahamut or Thunder attacks. I believe he's weak to Thunder. So we probably should have fought him during that thunderstorm. That would have worked. But whatever. We get haste on Rydia because she's our main damage dealer. Basically, even though she's like technically 10 years old, she's still our most important party member. So yeah, she's the only one who can easily hit almost 9,000. And that was Blaze, which is really a nice elemental spell for whatever reason. Flame is the fire version of it, and then Blitz is the electric version of it, but whatever. So, yeah, pretty much the same thing as Leviathan. So we just have to kill him and we can get Masamune, which is the stronger of the two weapons that Edge gets. The other one is the Murasame, I believe, or something like that. I don't know. It's the Ichikimon Chingi, whatever it was called. Ichikichi. There were so many I's. I know it started with Ichiki, something like that. Oh well. So you could have Edge use his Blitz spell, but I don't see how useful that would actually be. He isn't the best spellcaster. I mean, he's a ninja. Maybe he could Shadow Plate. Actually, that would technically be the image spell, or whatever it's called, image or something like that. The thing that gives him the blink status. But either way, we have the Masamune, or Masamune, and now we can go ahead and equip that on Edge. The other one, it was the Kikuichimonji. There we go. So now we have the Murasame, the Masamune, and seeing as how Edge can equip the Genji stuff, we're going to give him all that, or just the Genji helm, because he still doesn't have a hat. However, he does have the Protect Ring and the, what's it called? The Black Cowl, I believe? The Black Garb. There we go, the Black Cowl was the hat. That we lost, mind you. And you just saw that we indeed did run into a behemoth, so that was fun. And Rydia is now dead. So, fun times to be had with healing and X potions. There we go, that's enough. Okay, keeping the last X. See, I have like 11 elixirs. Just keep the Mega Elixirs for the final fight. Except when you're done with the final fight, try to keep as many as possible, but if you're in dire need of one, use it. Why am I talking about the final fight now? Well, we are nearing it, I mean. Crystal type area, different music, everything, the atmosphere, the mini bosses for regular monsters. You can kind of tell that the boss is coming up. And we're almost done with the Bestiary too. There's just this certain toad guy that I've been talking about, and 2 other creatures and the final boss. At least for this section of the game, there's still the whole lunar ruins thing, but whatever. Moving along, we can go down these stairs. The path just keeps on winding back and forth. And the Gisel Whistle, I have no idea what that does. I'd assume it's for calling Fat Chocobo, and it's not one-time use, but they give you so many throughout the game, or at least through the Lunar Ruins, so I really don't know about that. Maybe it's a summon thing, I don't know. I never used it, so if somebody can tell me what the Gisel Whistle does, then go ahead, but I'm clueless, and I'll put a little annotation saying what it does. And we got a Fuma Shuriken, so that's helpful. You're also going to want to keep as many Fuma Shurikens as possible, although you can easily buy those, and with so much gil, you can just buy elixirs or, elixirs or Fuma Shurikens. And I sped this battle up just because it took forever and nothing happens. Zemus's breath, one of the final enemies that we had to fight, basically just casts Scan on random people, and that's it. So just beat him up as he does this, cast Bahamut, the usual stuff. Don't even need to heal, so if you want, you could have Rosa use Holy and stuff, but try to keep as much magic as possible, because if you're like me, you don't have as many ethers, and you need as much magic as you can for the final fight. and you can only find this guy and the other guy on the very last floor of this dungeon, which we are currently on. So yeah, this is like a 9-floor dungeon, I believe, something around there. And if we could finish him off, that would be great. See, this is why I sped him up, and I was just scanning him, trying to see how much health he has, because this is quite a bit. This took like 7 minutes, and I was trying to fit this into a 15-minute time limit, and as you can see, we've already passed that. I know I don't have the time limit anymore, which is why this is going to end up being like 20 minutes, but still, it's just, I want to try to keep as close to 15 minutes as possible, just because I know that you don't have time and whatnot. But yeah, and that guy even died the boss way, like very slowly and line by line. It was just ridiculous, and we ran into Zemus's mind just in time. But if we kill his mind, doesn't that mean that he wouldn't be able to do anything? I mean, he wouldn't be able to think, therefore he wouldn't be. And when he casts Protect, all of your physical attacks suddenly do 1 damage. Whereas as soon as if he casts Shell, all your magical attacks will do 1 damage, I believe. He might not cast Shell, I don't know. But we're speeding this guy up as well, because it took quite a while, and trying to fit it in as close to 15 minutes as possible. Yeah, he does cast Shell, although it might just reduce it, it might not actually. Well, you know what, summons might not be affected by it. Or we could have Kane jump, and Cecil is confused. He's a confused protagonist, a confused silent protagonist. Yeah, jump didn't do all too much either, and anyways. And it did some, especially with the Protect up. So we're just going to throw something at him and hope he dies, and he did in fact die. So if you enjoyed this part, subscribe, rate, comment, whatever, and I will see you all in the next part for the finale, which will be 2 parts, by the way. So we're nearing the end, although we still have Lunar Ruins, but again, Sigh side quests. So I'm going to heal up and stuff, maybe in the next part, but I don't know. Maybe off screen, I forget. So, oh no, we're going to heal up right now. So, preparations for the final fight and see, not very many dry ethers and stuff. Barely reaching it, so see you all next time. Bye.